Hey everyone, welcome back. We're fast approaching that magical time of year when we get to pull all of our old sweaters out of storage and hopefully soon wear them again. And if you're anything like me, you may want to be adding a few more pieces to your wardrobe this season. My name is Anna, aka Brookwillow, and today I have some patterns that you could potentially knit based off of trends I'm seeing from some of my favorite stores. I had a fabulous time searching the internet and window shopping all of my favorite stores, and I have been seeing some commonalities throughout each of the trends that they're presenting this year. Now, I want to preface by saying this is my interpretation of these trends, and by no means do you need to follow these to be fashionable, because there's nothing better than personal style. But if you need a little bit of inspiration, I am here for you. So I broke it into 5 different categories based on some things that I've been seeing, and we'll jump right into the first category. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. As you can see here, it's jumbo cables, and I have been seeing them everywhere. I've been seeing a lot of cables in general, but just these over-the-top exaggerated ones have been kind of popping up everywhere, and it's something that I am really excited to see because I really like this style. You have the Free People on the left, which has a very cool construction going sideways, I believe, and then just that one long cable running throughout, and then in the center, Doan, just a classic fisherman style sweater with a little bit of exaggerated cables. And then on the far right, we have the Naughty Ones, large cables shown throughout the cardigan. I have found 3 different patterns on Ravelry that fall right into this category. The first one being the Wiliam sweater by Johana Gehrisch. This has a size run of extra small to 3XL, which is pretty good in my opinion. It uses Lana Grossa silk hair, Lana Grossa Linea Pura 4-season, but anything held together in an Aran weight will do as well. So this particular garment is worked sideways, which is very similar to that Free People sweater that I showed you, and that's why I thought this would be a cool contender for the jumbo cable trend. I really like how it's all the way down the sweater too, and not just one, and I believe it runs around to the back side as well. This sweater is also worked flat, which I can't imagine you could even do this in the round. But yeah, I think this is a really cool look and a designer that is new to me, so I'd be happy to try this one out for sure. The next on the list is the Busan Sweater by aegyoknit. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have as great of a size run. It just has sizes 1 through 4. So that's a bummer, but it is using Gepard Garn Kidseta and Gepard Garn Woolfolk. That's yarn I've never heard of before, but held together, it just needs an Aran weight, so I'm sure there's a lot of contending yarn to make this. This one is a top-down sweater. I believe it's worked flat, and it's a seamless construction. So if you're anything like me and craving a top-down sweater, this is a good one for sure. I really like how it has a little bit of that turtleneck, but of course I especially like that one single jumbo cable down the front. The third pattern in this category is one that I actually have plans to make this fall season. I have been thinking about this sweater for a very long time because I actually wanted to design something like this, and then I opened up Laine issue 13 And lo and behold, there's the exact sweater that I wanted to design. So I thought, wow, that's even better. I don't even have to go through the headache of it all. And that is Wider by Inyoung Kim, again from Laine magazine issue 13. The nice thing about Laine is it has a very big size range. Sizes are from 1 to 9. It's using ITO Sensei and Tuku Wool DK held together to make a DK weight yarn. This one's worked bottom up, but it is in the round. I'm not too stoked to make a bottom up sweater again, but this one is worth it. I really love the 2 jumbo cables down the front, and they extend to the backhand side. But what else I really love about this particular one is the collar detail as well. That's definitely a trend we've been seeing probably within the last year in knitting, and I think it's cool that it kind of combines the two. I do plan on also making this in a reddish color. I don't know if you remember, but I naturally dyed a bunch of yarn, and I have kind of an orangey bricky red that I plan to make this one in, so I'm pretty excited. The next trend that I've been seeing a lot of, which is one I'm very excited about, is knit jackets. Not quite a cardigan, a little bit thicker and maybe a bit more structured, something that you would definitely wear outside, again, like a jacket. But yes, I've been seeing these at almost every single online shop that I've been browsing. The one on the left from Ozma of California is so beautiful. I really love the textured detail and also the tonal buttons on it. And then we have the middle jacket from Christy Dawn. This one, again, is textured, and you can't really tell from this photo, but it does have a little bit of a puff shoulder detail that I think is very like romantic and beautiful. And then all the way on the right, we have from the Naughty Ones, yet again, another textured knit jacket. So I think like the common theme through these jackets is they're all textured, all kind of neutral with tonal buttons on them. But I do think they are absolutely beautiful and would make such a easy throw-on piece to kind of go with everything in your wardrobe. And some of these do have that collar detail as well, which is something, again, that I really like and I've been seeing a lot in knitting. So the first pattern that I have for this trend is the Maras by Rievive. This is a designer that's new to me, but I absolutely love this jacket. I think it's spot on for this trend. It runs in sizes 1 through 8, and it uses a DK weight yarn. This particular construction is worked bottom up, flat, and I believe it does use a chart that you can look at to knit the textured pattern as well, which I don't know about you, but I love working from a chart more than anything. But I think this is such a cool piece, and again, you can just throw it on over anything and it just will make your outfit look really cool. The next pattern on the list is actually one that I had plans making last year using some hand spun yarn, but I ended up not spinning the rest of it and other gift knits kind of got in the way, so I didn't get around to making it, but it's still on my wish list of patterns I want to make, and that is the Stegning by Woolfolk Design Team. This has a size range of 1 through 9, and it's using all yarn from Woolfolk, which I think all of their patterns are using their own yarn, and that is Woolfolk Tauve and Woolfolk Flet Bulky. This creates a bulky weight, and that means it would knit up pretty fast if you need to just whip something up real quick. This is a top-down construction, and it is seamless, so that means you don't really have to sew anything up in the end, which is always a plus. The third pattern for this trend is yet another new to me designer, and that is the Scallop jacket by Tonje Hodne. This has a size range of extra small to 2XL and uses Filcolana arvetta and Filcolana tilia held together to make a DK weight yarn. And this one's worked top down. It is a raglan and worked flat. I really do like the ribbing throughout this piece. I think it just creates a nice little detail, and I also like the kind of hairy aspect of it again. I haven't really been knitting with mohair a ton, but it is something that I kind of want to start knitting with again because I do really like the way it feels. It doesn't interact with my skin in any negative way at all. The sweater I'm actually wearing right now is ranunculus made just from one strand of mohair, and it's super comfortable. So I do want to start making some hairy sweaters again. So this one is also a big contender for me. Next up is a trend that I find to be so romantic and beautiful. And really, I think that's kind of the theme for fall this year for me, is really bringing out more of like a romantic vibe. In the past, it's very been like gorpcore, so a lot of like camping themed styles or outfits. And this year, I'm going to embrace just more delicacy because that's just what I'm feeling. And that fits right into the next trend, which is Eyelet Lace. Eyelet lace to me feels a little different than normal lace, where normal lace to me is more of like a texture, whereas Eyelet Lace has more of that cutout look from it. And that is something that I've been seeing a lot of, as you can see in these examples here. All the way on the left from Anthropology, you have this beautiful piece. I know it's short sleeve, but it has kind of the fall color, and you can always layer something on top of it. But yeah, it definitely has like the cutout look in the lace mixed with some baubles too, and the scalloping. I think it looks really pretty. And then in the center here from Cezanne, I absolutely loved this whole lace work down the front of it. I think that just looks so beautiful and reminds me more of a blouse than a cardigan. But again, I really love almost that like doily effect on it. And then all the way to the right from Doen, we have an all over eyelet lace turtleneck, and I just absolutely love the whole pattern of this. So yeah, I was really excited to be seeing a lot of these, and I found some good contenders to kind of bring out this trend. The first being, again, a sweater that I actually wanted to make when I got back into knitting, which I've been knitting since I was like 9 years old, and I've took breaks here and there, but it wasn't until I would say about 4 years ago that I just went down the rabbit hole and never turned back. And this particular sweater is one that I wanted to knit, and I feel like I should finally do it just as like an homage to getting back into knitting, and that is the Augusta sweater by Gregoria Fibers. This is exactly like what the trend says, just that eyelet lace detail all over the sweater. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and with the kind of slight balloon sleeves at the bottom, I just think this creates an awesome piece, and really one that could go well in the winter and even spring too. There are 7 sizes available, and it uses Gregoria Fibers Kid Silk Lace, which is not yarn I've ever really used, and I always forget that that was yarn. I'm not even sure if it's still available or not, but I should look into that because it would be kind of fun to try that out. So yeah, it's a lace weight pattern. I think it's similar to kind of what I'm wearing today, where it just uses like one strand of mohair, but in this case it's kid silk lace. This is worked bottom up and is seamless, and I really like the ribbed neckline at the top. It's not just like your standard ribbed collar, it extends out to the shoulders, and I think that's a really cool detail on this sweater on top of all the other cool details. The next one for this trend is one if you're kind of feeling a little bit more of that eyelet lace, and that is the Holy Moly sweater by Purl Foundry. This one is very similar to the Augusta sweater, but again, it's just more exaggerated with that lace if you just needed a bit more something. This has a size range for a finished bust of 87 to 160 centimeters. It uses Kinsen-Co Lark, but any other Aran weight yarn would work for this. And it is worked top down in the round, which sounds like a perfect construction. This next sweater is one that I think just came out last year, and that is the Wild Posy by Melody Hoffmann. I haven't actually knit up any of her pieces, but I think they're all so beautiful, and I really have been wanting to make one from her, and this would be a perfect one. This has a finished bust of 86.6 to 159.8 centimeters. She used 2 strands of Estex Plodulopi unspun Icelandic, but any other worsted weight yarn would probably work for this as well, especially if it's an unspun one to just get that unspun look. This is worked top down in the round and has a circular yoke, so again, I think this would just be a very fun, easy sweater to whip up for fall. This next trend is for the ambitious and or fast knitters, and that is long-sleeved dresses. This is a trend that I have been seeing a ton of, and specifically ribbed dresses. So all the way on the left we have one from Dish, and I really like just that thick rib clean look and the color they use, just kind of that earthy tone. In the middle, again, it's almost the same dress from Reformation in that deep, like burgundy red. And then all the way on the right, another ribbed long sleeve dress from And Other Stories in a beautiful jewel tone green. So this is one I could have found so many more examples from so many other stores that all look exactly like this dress. So yeah, it's pretty obvious to tell that this is a strong trend going into the fall season. Now for us knitters, it's not always practical to make a long sleeve dress. I certainly have never made a dress myself, but it is something that would be fun to do one day, but I don't think it's in the cards for me this year. But I still appreciate this trend, and if any of you are knitting a long sleeve dress, I would love to see it so I can live vicariously through you. The first dress I have as a pattern for this category is Dressilicious by Anna and Heidi Pickles. Before I go into this, I do want to point out that Anna and Heidi Pickles are like the queens of dresses. There are so many dress patterns from them, so this is just a couple pieces that I found, but I highly recommend you look at all of their other dress patterns because they would work super well too. But this first one has a size range of extra small to 3XL. It uses Pickles Cozy, which is a bulky weight yarn. It's worked top down and in the round, but I thought this particular dress matched this trend the most, given that it is a clean, crisp rib all the way throughout and into the long sleeve. But I also like that there's a bit of shaping in this as well, it looks like. I have tried long sleeve dresses on in the past that didn't have really any shaping, and it just did not fit my body right, but this kind of creates that hourglass shape while still being somewhat of a straight dress. So I feel like they did put a lot of thought and intention into this pattern, which I do appreciate. And of course you could always lengthen this dress too to be that extra long length if that's something that you want, but they have it a bit more cropped above the knee, which I also think looks nice. The next dress is another one from Anna and Heidi Pickles, and it is the Cocoon dress. I thought this was another fun take on a ribbed dress, but it has a bit more positive ease to it if you don't really like things clinging to your body. And I like the little bit of sleeve detail, as well as how the rib starts from small at the top and just appears to get larger towards the bottom. I think that's a really cool detail. Plus the shade of blue is really pretty too. This has a size range of extra small to 2XL, and it uses Pickles silk mohair and Pickles merino tweed, which creates a sport weight. It is worked top down in the round and a circular yoke. Yet again, I love this dress. I really like the length they chose on this, where it hits just below the knee. I think that looks super nice. And I feel like this would make an excellent fall dress going into winter as well. The third dress on the list is one that I've been thinking about making a lot, but again, I can't quite commit to it yet. And that is the Chestnut dress by Petite Knit. This one is a take off of one of her sweaters, I forget which one, and then it looks like it's just extended all the way down into a dress. I love the brown color she chose for this, and also the way she styled it with the Chelsea boot and the big tote bag. I think that looks really nice. This has a size range of extra small to 5XL, and it uses a few different yarns, it looks like, but held together it makes a DK weight, and it's worked top down in the round. I think this is a timeless piece that I can't ever really see going out of style. I mean, turtleneck sweaters have been around forever, just the plain look, and they always look nice, and I think that would be the case with a dress as well. If I were to make it, I would probably do it in slightly earth tones, similar to how she did it, and that way the color just won't ever go out of style really, or I won't get sick of it, I should say. And I say this for a dress because you're putting a lot more time and money, because it takes so much more yarn. You want to make sure that it's something that you're just going to love forever. So maybe if I do make a dress, it will be this one. Time will tell. Before I get into the knit accessory trends, I want to talk about another accessory that can enhance any outfit, and that is jewelry. I like to get a couple new pieces of jewelry every season. It's a fun way to just freshen up any outfit and make it feel very polished, and that's why I was very excited when Hey Happiness reached out and asked if I wanted to try a couple of their pieces. I turned down a lot of different collab opportunities, but I just couldn't resist getting some new jewelry, especially from a brand that is as quality as Hey Happiness. They are called Hey Happiness because they want to bring happiness to everybody's lives, and a lot of times when you put on a new piece of jewelry, you get a little bit happier. Just like when you put on one of your knit pieces, it just makes your day a little bit better. Hey Happiness products have been heavily tested and are free of lead, nickel, and cadmium content, which can cause harm to your health and your skin. And not every jewelry company either goes through those tests or even pass those tests before they sell to the public. So that's why I feel safe being able to wear product from them, and I don't have to worry about anything harming my skin. They also have so many beautiful pieces. It was very hard to choose, a lot of them being 14 karat gold, which is what I ended up choosing because I'm more of a gold person than a silver person. The piece that I chose was the Croissant dome ring in gold, which is 18 karat gold plated, and then stainless steel underneath. And I really like this because I'm trying to wear a bit more rings, and I thought this was just a very nice classic piece to stack with other rings or wear on its own, but I liked the subtle, elegant look of it. I also wanted to make sure that I got a pair of the earrings, and that is the thin oval hoop earrings in gold, which is 18 karat gold and then stainless steel. I thought this was a fun take on the classic hoop earring, but I wanted to switch it up a little bit since I already have a few pairs of gold hoop earrings. One thing that I really love about this one is how easy it goes into the ear and how it just snaps into place. I think it's a very cool constructed earring, and I personally have never seen any earring clasp like this. I'm sure there's a lot out there, but I just really like how it just snaps into place, and it's really easy to put on too, which is important to me. Hey Happiness is offering a 10% discount to you lovely viewers using the code that I'll display right here, and I will also link it in the description box below. Jumping right back into the knitted trends, up next we have romantic style socks. So I mentioned how this season I personally want to have a lot more romantic pieces, and that includes lacy, eyelet, and ruffles, and all of the works. And I think socks are another great way to show off that little bit, having it peek out through a pair of boots or clogs or whatever. I think it is such a nice look. And I have been seeing a ton of different romantic style socks from Free People, Urban Outfitters, and other places as well, but I just really like the ruffle lacy details on them. And there is no shortage of sock patterns that have all of these fun details. The first one being the Granny's Attic Socks by James N. Watts. I think these are such a unique and fun pair of socks, definitely over the top ruffle look, but some of us are just really into that. This has a wide range of sizes from toddler to adult large, so it would be cute as like a little gift knit for a little girl or boy as well. And yeah, I think they're super cute. They are made using Patton's Croissant socks, but any fingering weight sock yarn would work. And they are worked top cuff down and use a short row heel. Next up, we have a pattern by Sari Nordlund. She had a ton of sock patterns that fit well into this category, but for today I chose the Midsummer Dancer Socks by Sari Nordlund. It has a little bit more of a subtle ruffle and then adds that eyelet lace to the sock to really tie in all of that eyelet that I've been loving. This fits a foot circumference of 20 to 21.5. It's using Regia Premium Cashmere, and any other fingering weight sock yarn will do. This one is worked top cuff down and is a heel flap for the heel. The third sock is for those of you who aren't really into the whole ruffle but really like that eyelet lace look, and that is the Wildflowers and Honeycomb Socks by This Handmade Life. I've heard a lot about This Handmade Life, but I haven't actually knit any of their patterns, and I think this would be a really fun one to make. The sizes in this range from adult small to adult large, and uses Kama Rose Yaku, which is a fingering weight yarn, so any other fingering weight sock yarn will do. And it is also worked top cuff down with a heel flap. So I just really like the all over eyelet piece of this. I think it's super cute, and again would just look adorable poking up through some like loafers or boots or whatever fall shoes that you happen to be wearing, and can really elevate any outfit into that romantic style that I am just loving. The last trend that I've been seeing a ton of is extra long scarves. I know we have been seeing a lot of that ascot style scarf this past year, like the Sophie scarf or pretty much just the Sophie scarf. I know there's a lot of other patterns out there, but I have been seeing a ton of long scarves, both on the runways and in the shops. I think this is going to be a really big trend this year. The nice thing about a scarf is most of the time you don't really need a pattern. I don't know about you, but the first like 30 things I ever knit was just a long scarf. Really, you can just start in a rib pattern and keep going until you're done. Add some fringe, call it good. But if you just don't really want to think that much about it or need a little bit of assistance or ideas, I have some scarf patterns for you as well. The first one being the lovely ribbed scarf by Purl Soho. One thing I love about Purl Soho is pretty much most of their patterns on their website is for free. This one being one of the free patterns, and it uses Purl Soho's Good Wool, which is a yarn that I have worked with before, and I will be knitting another sweater in it. It is a yarn that I absolutely love and comes in so many different beautiful colors. So yeah, but any other DK weight yarn would work for this, and it is a long ribbed scarf worked flat. The next scarf on the list is something if you want like a little bit more interaction with less TV knitting, and that is the Byway by Jared Flood. There are 2 sizes available for this scarf, and I think it's for the width. You can either do 11 inches wide or 18 inches wide. It's using Brooklyn Tweed Quarry, which is a bulky weight yarn, and it is worked flat with several different cables. So I really love the cable texture throughout this entire scarf. I think it'll keep it very interesting as a knitter, so you don't really get bored of just knitting rib forever. And I just think it adds a very nice textured look and could really elevate any outfit as well as keep you warm when it starts getting cold out. And then finally, the last scarf that I have on the list is one that has a lot of fun fringe, but I also like the braided and ribbing aspects to it, and that is the Entwined Scarf by Jane Richmond, who is a new to me designer. This is a one size scarf using Cascade Yarns Magnum, which is a super bulky weight yarn. And there's ribbing, slip stitches, and fringe at the bottom. I think this is an excellent scarf for yourself, but also if you are starting to get into the gift knitting for the season too, this would make an excellent gift for a family or friend. So those are all of the trends that I have been observing and a bunch of patterns that I think would look excellent for anybody's wardrobe. Let me know if you've knit any of these patterns or if you plan to knit anything from this list. I'd love to hear it. I know myself, I'm gonna knit a couple pieces from here and I just can't wait. But anyways, I just wanna wish you all a happy fall-ish season. I know we're not there quite yet, but I think in a knitter's world, we're all basically mentally there. I am just so excited for another season of cold weather so I can start wearing all the knits again, and I am just here for all of the fall knitting videos. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing and you won't miss out on any future content. In the meantime, I wish you all happy knitting and I hope you have a good week. See you next time. Bye.